Alright, let's do a quick update on Bonfida. So if we start off with the FTX chart, which is a little bit more beefy than the Coinbase chart, you can see not much has changed since the last video, but I'll give you a quick update anyway. So in the last video we outlined that, we really need to stay above this 618, which you can see is coming in at 232. Basically the level we're hovering at now. So we are kind of just hanging out around this 618, so nothing's been decided yet, but do bear in mind we do have a red green red formation. So I do believe as long as if we don't have a strong bounce like very soon, then I do believe that we're going to be coming down to somewhere like 188. My original target was 177, but that would have been like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago or so. It has, we've been kind of going sideways for a while since then, so I'm more inclined to believe that we could bounce on the 786. If we did obviously take a fib from this micro move from the low to the high, you can see that if we did backtest the 786, then somewhat technically we would still be bullish. I do prefer to stay above the 618, which is obviously the most important level to stay above, but as we have had a strong breakout of this descending resistance, which has been in play since the 3rd of November, I would not be surprised if we did see a back test at least somewhere around here. So round about 190, which is approximately about a 20% dump from where we are now. So same as the last video, I said I'm not really getting out of bed until we have a solid decision on what's going on. Do bear in mind on this chart though, we are kind of pressing up on the 618 right now, 618 being here at 132. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting stuck here. If we don't have a pump very soon, I think we're going to fall over. If we do look at the volume is decreasing. There's almost no volume coming in for this coin, which is a little bit worrying because we broke out of this this descending channel and we have only a tiny bit of volume. So if we do come over to the Coinbase chart, you can see we've basically had a absolute drop in volume since this got listed on Coinbase. What's interesting as well, if we look on the Coinbase chart, it's not doing it anymore, but a couple of minutes ago before I made this video, this candle was a little bit further down here. So we are kind of still getting stuck at this 618. Obviously the 618 is on this chart, so even on the Coinbase chart I do see us doing something like this, back testing near 210 before we make a decision. Obviously if we do lose that on the Coinbase chart, you can see that we have a hefty drop down to 95 cents, but I believe it's probably more likely to use the price targets that we've got on the FTX pair, simply because this chart has been going on for all the way since the 20th of December 2020. So I'm only using the Coinbase chart for reference because obviously this was listed on Coinbase fairly recently. If I do come over to the weekly, you can see it's only its 3rd week on Coinbase. So maybe next week or the week after I'll have to amend my title because this isn't exactly too much of a new coin on Coinbase, but this is still relatively recent. So yeah, I mean, we're not showing too much strength right now. If we do come over to the weekly, you can see that the weekly RSI is really getting rugged and falling off the table. We did have some green volume coming in the previous weeks, but now we're kind of sitting around midweek on the 16th of Wednesday, and we've got absolutely no volume coming in. The volume that we do have is all selling volume. If we do come over to the monthly, you can see that we do have a fairly decent amount of volume coming in on the monthly. To be fair, I mean, it's really nothing special. It is obviously rivaling this and not even rivaling this, so I actually take that back. It's not really significant volume at all. It is just more significantly bullish than the past 2 months. So I do believe as well, if we come over to the Heikin-Ashi candles, you can see that we haven't even had a green month yet. So really nothing to get out of bed for. If we come over to the weekly Heikin-Ashi as well, you can see that we are in this huge downtrend. We had one green candle with a big push to the upside. This push was approximately 47%, and it got pushed down very heavily. So, you know, in my opinion, this coin doesn't look too good right now. There's not really many buyers coming in to buy this coin, and there's a lot of sellers coming in to sell. You can see that whenever we do have these big wicks to the upside, they are pushed down extremely fast, because, you know, there's basically a wall of sellers. You know, whenever we do have these big pumps, people seem like they're trying to get out of their bags. Even over here on the daily, you can see we had a pump up to the top of this trend and absolutely fell down. If I just mend that, if we zoom back as well, yeah, you can see ever since here, really, on the 3rd of November, where we had this huge wick to the upside, which was, you know, a 40% wick, we absolutely fell off the table. So normally, don't get me wrong, big wicks to the upside are bullish, specifically in uptrends. You can see if we come to the Heikin-Ashi here, what makes Heikin-Ashi candles bullish is when they have these steep uptrends like this, with little or no shadows on the bottom and shadows to the top. You can see as soon as we started getting shadows to the bottom, this is when the downtrend changed. Do bear in mind on the weekly as well, we did have, you know, 2, 3, 4 green Heikin-Ashi candles come in that were green before we did actually go to the upside. So I believe looking on this chart on the monthly Heikin-Ashis is a lot better to do. You can see on the daily as well, you know, we are just consecutively making red Heikin-Ashi candles. So yeah, all in all, not too much to get out of bed for Bonfida right now. In my opinion, it's getting more and more likely that we're about to fall through the 2.32. When I started making videos on this a couple of days ago, round about here, I said that we need to hold the 250. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago I started making videos on this, I believe. The 250 lines up with the 786 right here. And just to reiterate, you know, we said if we do lose 250, in my opinion, we're going to be at least coming down to backtest somewhere near this line. When I did start making videos, I said, you know, 177, because that would have been a move like this. But now, obviously, you know, we can't move backwards to do something like that. So if we did test the line, it would be down here at 120. And in my opinion, that drop is just a little bit too steep, depending on what the rest of the market does. So I would be looking for a move down for 189. So 189 is my new target. If we do have a bounce on 189, which is approximately a 19% dump, this would line up nicely with the 786, and that would mean that technically on this slightly more macro but technically micro fib, we would still be putting in higher lows. And yeah, you know, at that point, if we did have some strong volume coming in, I'd need to see a bounce on here, some strong green candles come in like this. If we didn't see that, then, you know, in my opinion, nothing has really changed. Just to finish it off as well, you can see that the RSI is kind of like stair laddering up, which is by itself. The RSI is good to be going up, obviously, but with no volume coming in, it kind of just shows me that, you know, if we did kind of pump up a little bit, then the RSI is probably going to get quickly overextended, simply because there's no buyers stepping into this market. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing. Keep an eye on 232. If we do lose 232, then I do believe the next level down is somewhere around about here, 190. You know, maybe we may not come all the way down to 190. If we drag this down to candle body close, you can see that we could also come down to 208, but I do prefer using this fib here. So yeah, I would be keeping my eyes on 290. If we do have a strong bounce on 290, then, you know, we can still argue this is going to be bullish. But for now, I'm sitting on the sidelines. I don't believe this breakout is decisive enough to say, you know, we should be getting out of bed yet until we have a retest and some strong volume coming in. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing right now. Once again, none of this is financial advice. It is just my opinion on the market, and you've always got to do what's best for you. Peace.